Welcome to Simplified UPSC by PPP, where we listen, learn, and grow together. Detailed lecture notes in English and Hindi, plus practice questions for prelims and mains, only on our Telegram channel. Link in description. Like and subscribe for more.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today our mission is, well, it's pretty straightforward. We're taking NCERT Class 11 Biology, Chapter 16, Digestion and Absorption, and we're going to turn it into structured, high-yield knowledge for you.
Exactly. This isn't just about reading a chapter. The goal here is to distill everything. The functional anatomy, the key chemical reactions, and all those essential facts you need for deep comprehension.
We want to connect the anatomical what with the chemical how and, the real world so what.
Right. Think of the digestive system like a super specialized assembly line. We're going to map it out so you walk away with a crystal clear understanding of how food actually becomes fuel.
Okay, and before we dive in, just a quick humble note. If this kind of content is useful for you, and we really hope it is, please take just a second to hit that like button and share a valuable comment. It genuinely helps us.
It really does. And a huge shout out to all of our existing members at Simplified UPSC by PPP. Your support is absolutely what allows us to keep producing this kind of deep dive. If you're able and it works for you, please consider joining the paid membership on YouTube.
Absolutely. Your support fuels this entire project. Okay, let's get into it. The alimentary canal. This long, specialized tube. It's easy to think of it as one thing, but really, the star of the show for digestion and absorption is the small intestine.
Without a doubt. I mean, that's where the bulk of the action happens. It's the principal organ where the final breakdown occurs, and, critically, where all those nutrients get absorbed. It's a masterpiece of evolutionary optimization.
Let's zoom in right there then. The anatomy. The small intestine is split into three regions: the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum.
Right. The duodenum is that first C-shaped section, kind of like the main mixing bowl. Then you get the long coiled middle part, the jejunum, and finally the highly coiled ileum.
But the coiling is just the first level of its design, isn't it? The real efficiency comes from something much smaller.
Oh, absolutely. The macro structure is just the start. The truly massive surface area comes from these incredible internal folds that have finger-like projections called villi.
And even those have smaller projections on them, the microvilli.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've got folds on folds on folds. It's this layered system that takes what would be a simple tube and expands its internal surface area to, well, something like the size of a tennis court.
That analogy always sticks with me. A tennis court packed inside your abdomen, it just highlights how critical that surface area is for absorption.
It's all about maximizing the contact between the digested food and the absorbing cells. It's all about the rate of absorption.
Okay, speaking of flow, let's talk regulation. How does the semi-digested food, the chyme, get from the stomach into the duodenum in a controlled way?
That's the job of the pyloric sphincter. It's a muscular gatekeeper, a traffic cop.
A traffic cop, I like that.
It precisely controls the flow, letting only small, manageable amounts of chyme into the duodenum at a time. If it just dumped everything at once, the whole system would be overwhelmed.
Okay, so after the small intestine, we hit the large intestine. That's the cecum, colon, and rectum. And the cecum is interesting. It hosts symbiotic microorganisms.
It does. And coming right off the cecum, you have our favorite evolutionary aha moment.
The vermiform appendix.
The vermiform appendix. The textbook explicitly calls it a vestigial organ. It's a classic example of a structure that probably had a function in our ancestors, maybe for digesting cellulose, but now it's mostly redundant.
And this whole idea of maximizing surface area, it's not unique to humans, is it? I'm thinking of a link here from previous topics.
A great point. No, it's a universal biological problem. If you remember the earthworm, it has an internal fold in its intestine called the typhlosole.
Which does the exact same thing.
The exact same thing. Increases the effective surface area for absorption. The solution might be different, but the principle is the same.
Okay, let's shift from the structure to the chemistry. The duodenum is where this chemical factory really gets going. What are the three main secretions we're talking about?
You have a triad of major players. There's bile from the liver and gallbladder, pancreatic juice from the pancreas, and then the local stuff, intestinal juice, which is also called Succus entericus.
And the bile and pancreatic juice, they don't arrive separately.
No, they share a common pipeline. They're released together into the duodenum through the hepatopancreatic duct.
Let's start with the pancreatic juice. It's like the heavy artillery, but the text emphasizes that its most powerful enzymes are released in an inactive form. Why is that?
It's that safety lock we mentioned. These enzymes, trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidases, are incredibly powerful protein digesters.
So if they were active inside the pancreas?
The pancreas would start digesting itself. It's a protective measure. They're only activated once they're safely inside the duodenum.
Right. Now, what about bile? This one is critical for fat digestion, but our sources are very clear. Bile contains 0 digestive enzymes. So what is it actually doing?
It's solving a physics problem, not a chemistry one. The enzymes that digest fat, the lipases, are water-soluble. But fat, as you know, is not.
So you have oil and water. They don't mix.
Exactly. You've got this big glob of fat, and the lipase can only attack the very surface. Bile performs emulsification. It acts like a detergent, breaking that one large fat globule into thousands of tiny microscopic droplets.
Which massively increases the surface area for the lipases to attack. It's a mechanical setup for the chemical reaction.
Precisely. It's not digestion itself, it's preparation for digestion. Once that's done, and the pancreatic juice has done its initial work, the final breakdown happens right at the gut wall, thanks to the Succus and Entericus.
This is where everything gets converted into those simple absorbable units. Let's run through those final reactions. These are super high-yield facts.
They are. The enzymes in the intestinal juice are like the final scissors. So dipeptides are broken down into amino acids. For carbs, maltose becomes glucose plus glucose.
Lactose becomes glucose plus galactose.
And sucrose becomes glucose plus fructose. Then for the fats, the leftover diammonoglycerides are finally broken down into fatty acids and glycerol.
Perfect. So now we have our fuel molecules. Glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. How do they actually get from inside the gut into the body?
Well, the absorption process isn't one size fits all. Some absorption happens passively, just moving down a concentration gradient. But for the bulk of glucose and amino acids, the body has to actively work to pull them in.
Using energy, so active transport.
Yes, the body expends energy to make sure it captures as many of those crucial nutrients as possible.
But what about the fats? The fatty acids and glycerol, they're not water-soluble, so they can't just move into the blood like the others, can they?
They can't. They have a completely different route. Inside the intestinal cells, they were reformed into tiny fat droplets called chylomicrons. These are too big to get into the tiny blood capillaries.
So they need a different highway system.
They do. They enter the lymphatic system. Specifically, they go into a special vessel in each villus called a lacteal.
Okay, so this is a major point of distinction for you to remember. Sugars and amino acids go into the bloodstream. Fats go into the lymph via the lacteal.
That's the key takeaway. Eventually, the lymph drains into the bloodstream, but the initial entry point is different.
And what about the other parts of the tract? Any absorption happening there?
A little bit. The mouth can absorb certain drugs, like those placed under the tongue, and the large intestine is crucial for absorbing water, some minerals, and also certain drugs.
Right. So once all that is done, the leftover undigested food passes from the small intestine's ileum into the large intestine's cecum. What stops it from flowing backward?
That would be the ileocacal valve. It's a one-way door. Absolutely critical. Once the waste is in the large intestine, its main job is to reclaim water.
So it dries out the waste.
Essentially, yes. It absorbs most of the remaining water, turning it into semi-solid feces, which is then stored in the rectum before digestion.
Okay, let's pivot from the healthy system to what happens when things go wrong, specifically with nutrition. Our source material really highlights protein energy malnutrition, or PE.
Yes, and it frames it as a major public health crisis, especially in underdeveloped regions of the world. It often gets worse during things like drought, famine, or political turmoil.
A direct link between biology and socioeconomics. Now, PEAC has two main forms we need to be able to distinguish, Marasmus and Kwashiorkor. Let's start with Marasmus.
Marasmus is what happens when there's a simultaneous deficiency of both proteins and total food calories. It's basically starvation. It typically affects infants under a year old.
And the physical signs are what you might expect from starvation.
Exactly. You see impaired growth, extreme emaciation, the limbs become incredibly thin, and the skin becomes dry and wrinkled. Critically, brain and mental development are also impaired.
Now, contrast that with Kwashiorkor. The visuals here can be a bit confusing because it often involves swelling. What's the deficit here?
Kwashiorkor is a deficiency of protein, but, and this is the key, it's unaccompanied by a calorie deficiency. The child is getting calories, usually from starchy foods, but almost no protein.
So they have energy, but none of the building blocks.
Precisely. And the swelling, the edema, that's the hallmark symptom. It happens because without enough protein in the blood, the body can't maintain the right fluid balance, and water leaks out into the tissues.
So even though they're malnourished, there's still some fat under the skin, and they have this characteristic swelling.
Correct. So, to put it simply for you, Marasmus is total starvation, leading to extreme thinness. Kwashiorkor is protein starvation with calories present, leading to swelling or edema. Recognizing the distinction is a high-level takeaway.
Okay, that's a crystal clear distinction, so let's wrap this up.
We've journeyed through the entire alimentary canal, from the incredible architecture designed for surface area, through the precise chemical ballet of enzymes, to the separate absorption pathways for different nutrients. It's an amazing system.
And the final products are always those simple absorbable units: glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids plus glycerol. It's all about breaking things down to that fundamental level.
It is. The whole thing is a feat of biological engineering.
And it all comes back to chemistry, to the enzymes running the show. I want to leave you with a final thought on that. Every single metabolic conversion in a living system requires a catalyst, an enzyme.
Every single one.
Even something that seems purely physical, like carbon dioxide dissolving in water, inside your body, that process is accelerated millions of times by an enzyme. It just shows how central enzyme function is to, well, to life itself.
A great point. Life is just a series of highly controlled, incredibly rapid chemical reactions. And the digestive system is what unlocks the fuel for all of it.
And that concludes this deep dive. We really hope this breakdown has helped clarify this chapter for you. If it did, please take a moment to like the video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the Simplified UPSC by PPP channel.
And if you can, please consider joining the paid membership. To all our current members, thank you. Your support makes this possible. Keep learning and keep asking why it matters.
Okay, let's unpack the next one soon.
Thanks for watching. Follow us on Telegram and Instagram. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.